In the world of science, few names stand as tall as Isaac Newton, a man whose curiosity, intellect, and groundbreaking discoveries would shape the very foundations of physics and mathematics. But who was Isaac Newton, and what drove him to unlock the mysteries of the universe? Tonight, we take a journey through his life, exploring the challenges he faced, the discoveries he made, and how one man changed the way we understand the world around us. Isaac Newton was born on December 25, 1642 in Woolsthorpe, Lincolnshire, England. His birth came under unfortunate circumstances. His father had passed away 3 months before he was born. His mother, Hannah Ayscough, remarried when he was just 3 years old, leaving young Isaac in the care of his grandmother. Newton's early years were marked by loneliness. He was a quiet child, often found gazing at the world around him, trying to understand it. As a child, he was more interested in his experiments with nature than playing with other children. At the age of 12, Newton went to the King's School in Grantham, where his academic abilities began to show. However, his mother wanted him to take over the family farm. But Isaac's passion for learning pushed him away from farming and into education. Scene shows Isaac studying by candlelight, surrounded by books. His passion for learning grew, and, at the age of 18, he was admitted to Trinity College, Cambridge in 1661. Here, his life would take a turn. At Cambridge, he was introduced to the works of the great scientists like Kepler, Galileo, and Descartes. But it wasn't easy. Newton had to battle loneliness, a poor social life, and a lack of resources, but his genius shone through. His work began to focus on natural philosophy, which was the precursor to what we now call physics. In 1665, a deadly plague swept through England, forcing universities and schools to close. Newton returned to Woolsthorpe for a time, and what happened next would change the world forever. It was during these years, the Year of Wonders, that Newton began to formulate his most important ideas. He was struck by the falling apple, which led him to question the force that made the apple fall straight down to the ground. This simple question would lay the groundwork for his theory of gravity. Newton wasn't just a physicist. He was also a brilliant mathematician. While grappling with the concept of gravity, he invented a whole new branch of mathematics, calculus. It would become the tool needed to describe the changing motion of objects, and it wasn't until later that Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, another mathematician, independently developed a similar method, leading to a famous dispute between the two. Calculus was the foundation of Newton's ability to describe not just gravity, but the entire universe in mathematical terms. His work on motion and forces came together in his masterpiece Philosophia Naturalis Principia Mathematica, often referred to as simply Principia. In 1687, Newton's Principia was published. This book, which would forever change the course of science, laid out the laws of motion and the theory of universal gravitation. In his 3 laws of motion, Newton explained how objects move in response to forces. His first law, the law of inertia, stated that an object at rest will remain at rest unless acted upon by a force. The second law showed that the force on an object is equal to its mass times its acceleration. And the third law famously stated that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And then came the law of universal gravitation. Newton proposed that every mass in the universe attracts every other mass with a force that is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Newton's work was revolutionary. It provided the first comprehensive explanation of how the universe works, from the falling apple to the motions of the planets. His laws were used to predict the movement of celestial bodies and laid the foundation for the study of physics for centuries to come. His influence on science, mathematics, and astronomy was profound, and even today his laws are used to describe the motion of objects from satellites in orbit to the path of distant stars. While Newton's scientific contributions were groundbreaking, his personal life was marked by isolation and occasional bitterness. He was known for his fiery temperament and contentious personality. Newton was often at odds with other scientists, particularly in his bitter dispute with Robert Hooke and Leibniz over credit for certain discoveries. Despite his personal struggles, Newton's reputation only grew. He became a member of the Royal Society, and in 1703 he was appointed president of the organization, a position he held until his death. Despite his personal struggles, Newton's reputation only grew. He became a member of the Royal Society, and in 1703 he was appointed president of the organization, a position he held until his death. From the apple that fell to the ground to the stars in the sky, Isaac Newton's curiosity and drive changed the way we view the universe. His laws of motion and theory of gravity formed the foundation of classical mechanics, and his mathematical genius continues to influence the world of science and engineering. Newton's legacy endures in every experiment, every discovery, and every person who looks up at the sky and wonders how the universe works. His dedication to uncovering the mysteries of nature has inspired countless generations to think critically, explore, and discover. Isaac Newton's life was not just a story of a man, it was the story of humanity's quest for understanding. Isaac Newton may have left this world, but his ideas, his curiosity, and his groundbreaking discoveries will continue to inspire humanity for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life of Isaac Newton, a man whose mind reshaped the very fabric of science.